Happy Wednesday. Jan Copeland here. How is your Wednesday going, ladies? Whether you are with me live or whether you are on the replay, please let me know where you are from, what your market is. And as we get people signed on, I'm just going to look at my weird hair. Hi, Amanda. I'm long overdue for my hair, and I called today. Actually, I called the other day, and the soonest I can get in is March 4th. So we do the best we can. Hi, Inga. Thanks so much for joining me. So today we're going to have a bonus mini training on how to show fewer houses and write more winning contracts and get more closings. Sound good? And then I have some announcements to make. The number one announcement is that if you saw the other week, before I got sick last week, that I am now having my mortgage paid through a passive income stream. And this Friday, I am going to be sharing with you, those of you who have signed up, what that is. It's a great opportunity, and I'd be remiss if I didn't share it with you. So if you are interested in being a part of my Friday announcement, where I'm going to share with you my passive income stream, then please go ahead and put in the message here in the comment that you want passive income. Say, I want passive income, and I'll make sure I get you the information. So hi Nikki, Nicole, Patty, Marissa, Ashley, and Lila. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me see, am I missing? And Carol, Jan, Sharon, Diana from my old market, Stephanie Wells, Sherry, Sandina. Oh, thanks, Carol. You're sweet. Summer, Karen. I love spelling Karen that way. That's really cool. And Jacqueline. Thanks, ladies. All right, so my first announcement was about the passive income. The second announcement is, who wants an iPad? Who wants an iPad? When I did a poll here in the Girls Guide to Outrageous Real Estate Success group about a month ago, that came in as the #1 desired prize for you ladies. And so if you go over to my business page, Jan Copeland, which is facebook.com/coach Jan Copeland, I have a post that is the 4 weeks of love. This week is the 3rd week in that series. And if you like it, share it, and tag 2 friends, each of those things I just said will get you 1 entry to winning on Friday. On Friday, we're giving away an iPad. So if you want it, head on over to my business page and like it. That's 1 way in. Share it, 2nd entry. Go ahead and tag 2 women. That's a 3rd entry. And then you can head over to Instagram, and my handle there is Coach Jan Copeland. And again, like it, share it, tag 2 friends, and now you have 6 chances to win the iPad. So week 1, we gave away an iPad. And then last week we gave away AirPods. And so I'm excited. I like giving things away. In addition to winning those items, each of those respective winners also got 2 VIP tickets to the first and only National Real Estate Conference specifically for you, a woman real estate agent or broker. And it's happening April 14th here in Richmond, where I live, at this amazingly gorgeous hotel where you will be catered to. Those of 500 women who came last year were well taken care of, and this year is no exception. And so you will also, in addition to winning the iPad, win 2 VIP tickets to this amazing conference, the first and only national conference for women. So go to she'sunstoppablelive.com, check it out. You definitely want to be there. Hey, Claudia, Cindy, Janet, Sandina wants passive income. Natalie, Kim, Kathy. Oh, I haven't seen you for a while, Kathy. Jordan, Vanessa, Robin, Amy, Shannon, Mary Lynn, Elizabeth, Sophia. Oh, I love Sophia. That's my granddaughter's name. Megan, Heather, Melissa. I feel like I know you ladies. So awesome. Mary, Missy, and Jen. All right. So please head on over to my Instagram, my business Facebook when we're done here. But now it's time for the mini training. So right now, many markets are finding themselves in a seller's market. And so in many price ranges, there are far more buyers than there are listings, right? And so I thought, let me just share with you how to maximize your time and minimize the time wasted on taking people out to a million houses and then putting in offers and losing. So first step, how to show fewer houses. So ladies, we need to up our game. Okay, and when you do this, this is kind of scary, but sometimes I hear this is scary, but here's what happens. Most times when someone gets a buyer lead, they say, I'll meet you at the house. Let's see it today at 4 p.m. They meet at the house. They don't know the person very well, and it's just like the blind leading the blind, okay? And it's just really not that professional. And many times, I don't want to say many times, I'll say sometimes that prospect, the prospective buyer, turns out to be a looky-loo, and they go dark. And then we feel beat up, but we allowed it. So I've mentioned this before, but I wanted to reiterate it now. You are exceptional. You actually have a process for your buyer prospects. And so what you're going to do is you're going to set up an appointment to meet them either at your office or maybe a Panera or a Starbucks that is near to the home that they would like to see. Why? Because you have a process, and that includes a buyer intake. That includes a buyer consult meeting. And ladies, it doesn't have to be more than 10 or 15 minutes to meet with them, go over what they really are looking for, and qualify them before you show the house, right? So let's go through it really quickly. And if you want the buyer intake form, put buyer intake form in the comments, okay? Now, here we go. So it sounds like this. Hi, I'd like to see 123 Main Street. And you're saying, fabulous, George. How long have you been looking? Oh, I've been looking, a couple weeks here and there. It's hard to find homes that are for sale in my price range. Okay, great. Well, how did you arrive at your price range? Are you, I don't really ask if they're pre-approved, but I would say, how did you arrive at your price range? And maybe they'll say, well, I've been paying rent, or I'm just figuring that's what it is, whatever. Say, okay, awesome. So this home is a ranch home. So you're looking for a ranch home? You're just asking just a couple basic questions. Say, all right, let me look at my schedule, George, and it looks like I can show it to you tonight at 5, or I can show it tomorrow morning at 10. Which of those is better for you? And he'll say tonight at 5. Fabulous. Okay, so, and is this your cell phone number? Yes. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be texting you confirmation of our appointment, because I do need to speak with the listing agent and confirm the appointment. So at that time, we will actually be meeting at, boom, you could say at my office or at the Panera nearby, whatever, and I will be texting you the address. We'll meet there for about 15 minutes. I have to go over a few things with you, and then we'll head right over and show that house. Don't make it weird. If you hesitate, then they're going to be like, what is this, right? If you just say it very matter-of-factly, then, they'll probably go along with it. If they balk at it, then you say, oh, I understand. I do things a little differently. Something as important as a home purchase, where you are going to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, warrants a conversation. And so I help my buyers with a plan. I have a plan to help my buyers who are on a path to true homeownership. And again, what we found is that those clients who have closed with me appreciate my process, and at the closing table say that it was one of the smoothest processes they've ever had, and their friends who bought say that they were confused and they didn't have nearly as good the experience that my clients have. And if they balk at that, then you say, well, you know, my broker has it as also a safety mechanism. And if they balk at that, then ladies, I wouldn't show them the house, because there's no reason, if they were a real true buyer, why they wouldn't come see you. And mind you, I have not yet asked them if they're pre-approved. Why? Who knows why? Who knows why? Who knows why? Hi everyone, all these new people. Who knows why? Well, it's because you haven't earned that right to ask them if they're pre-approved. And you want to make them come to you so that you can have that established relationship and get face-to-face, right? So when they come in, you, by the way, when you set the appointment, you're going to have your lender either available by phone or your lender will be there with you, right? And so you're there, you meet with them, you go through the, you know, hey, thanks so much for coming. I'm excited to show you 123 Main Street. I just like to share with my buyers the lay of the land with respect to our market right now. And so right now, we find ourselves in a seller's market. And what that means is that there are far more homes, or I'm sorry, there are far more buyers in your price range than there are listings. And so we need to be very strategic to make sure that we understand exactly what you're looking for so that I can get you a home, okay? And so then you'll go through and you'll share with them the two things. You'll share with them the average days on market in that price range, you know, of the price range of the home they want to look at, that they requested to look at. And you'll say, you know, we're going to look at ABC, you know, 123 Main Street. Now, in this price range, the average days on market in this price range right now is X. So it could be 20, it could be 10, it could be 25, whatever. And you say, you know, I want you to know that that's important because it's just demonstrating that it's very competitive. And so when you see a home that you think would be a great one for you, we need to act. We need to act quickly so that you have an opportunity to submit an offer. And in actuality, that average days on market actually includes homes that are overpriced and don't show so well as those that are priced right and show amazing. And why that's important and why I'm sharing that with you is that there are homes in your price range that go under contract in 2 days. So it is a very, you know, competitive market. And the second statistic I want to share with you is the average list price to sold price. So in this price range, in the last 6 months, you can expect to pay 99% of list price. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is that everybody, you know, seems to think they know the real estate market, and so they'll say, you know, put a low ball offer in, offer 5,000 under, whatever. Everybody has advice for people that are buying a house, but all that doesn't matter. What matters is what's really happening in this market. And so the fact of the matter is homes are going under contract at 98 or 99, whatever. You have to do the research, right? If you don't know how to do that, let me know. You need to go into your MLS and figure that out. What you're doing, ladies, in that, which takes, what, the first 5 minutes, is you're establishing yourself as different, as a professional, and that you truly are their advocate. From there, you step over to filling out the buyer intake form, which is, okay, talk to me about what kind of home you need. This one is a ranch. Are you only looking at ranchers, or will 2 stories work for you? And this happens to be on the east side of town. Is that your prime location, or could farther out, you know, be suitable for you? You're really just walking through this buyer intake form, and you are making sure that you're clarifying what this particular buyer prospect is in need of, okay? The next step is to go ahead, once you have that buyer intake form completed, and to say to them, I will get you a copy of this so that we can, you know, be of one mind together in what you're looking for. So I will be your eyes and ears. and you will be on the same page. Next is, now will you be paying cash for this purchase, or will you be securing a mortgage? Boom. At that point, you've actually demonstrated some credibility, demonstrated that you have their best interest in mind, and now you can ask the question if they're pre-approved. But notice I didn't say, are you pre-approved? Do you have your pre-approval? Because there will be a percentage, even if it's only 5%, that are going to be paying with cash. Now, if you ask them if they're pre-approved, they're offended. So you're not going to do that. And then, if they say, yes, I am pre-approved, fantastic. Do you have that pre-approval letter with you or in your email? Well, I have it in my email. Fantastic. Can you go ahead and email that over to me? You're done, right? Then you move on to the next. But if they say, well, I'm not pre-approved and I really don't want to get pre-approved, I'll be securing a mortgage, but I don't want to do that until I find the right home or something. I can't have this be a huge training of everything, so that we'll have to handle separately. But you do have to overcome that objection, okay? And you usually overcome objections with more questions, with open-ended questions, so that you can speak to their particular issue. But let's move forward. And the next step is to have your laptop or iPad available and go ahead and show them that you're going to input their criteria that you just completed on the buyer intake form within their location and their price range, to show them how many homes meet their criteria. And ladies, this is so critically important to showing fewer houses and writing more deals, because you're going to demonstrate to them that there's an abundance of opportunities and homes for them in their price range, or that it's slim pickings, because you're doing it right in front of them. Who can see the value in that, right? I mean, that's huge. If you only have the one home that comes up in that criteria, then you can have a discussion that goes something like this. Well, we're definitely able to go see 123 Main Street. And as you can see, that's the only thing in this particular area. So we have a couple of choices. We can wait and, of course, see what comes on in the market. We can look further out or expand our location. Or we can relook at the criteria, and maybe that finished basement criteria we can do without. Or maybe you can be on a smaller lot, or smaller square footage, or one less bedroom, whatever, okay? You want to be very proactive with them at this point, and you're being full disclosure because you're showing them what's available with your laptop, right? So, or your iPad, so that's really, really amazing. At this point, then you want to also go ahead over to solds and under contracts with their criteria and show it right in front of them. And you want to go back maybe 3 months so that they can see the number of closings that fit their criteria that happened in the last 90 days, right? Which will be telling of them in terms of, how often these homes come up. And when you go through pictures, maybe this will be a come to Jesus time where they're like, oh my goodness, I need to either lower my standards or raise my price point a little bit, right? So, okay, so now you've gone through that, and now at this point, you're ready to go to 123 Main Street and have that showing. And, you have the printout for yourself, you have the printout for them, and you have not yet asked them to be their exclusive buyer's agent, because that will happen after the showing, all right? And all this time, you're building the credibility, you're building your relationship with them. And okay, so let's get to, that's going to help you show fewer homes, because you're going to explain to them, look, if you're a real buyer, it's like you can't be the 40-year-old bachelor who is afraid to write an offer on a house for fear a better one will come up next week or in 2 weeks, right? So, all right. So next is writing a winning offer. Writing a winning offer happens when you are the best terms. So it's very important that when you are, and I didn't explain how to get them to agree to write the offer. That's, I can't go into everything here, but there's a method to getting their agreement to move forward to write an offer. So now you are at the point where they say, you know what, you've asked them, you know what, this looks like it's really good for you. Do you want to try to get this house? Let's write an offer. So there are 4 terms that will assist you in getting your offer to be the winning offer. Number one thing to do is when you have agreement with your buyer to write an offer, you want to go ahead and call the listing agent. Not text, not email, you want to call them, because relationships are everything. Just write it down. Relationships are everything. Everything, everything, everything. So you want to get the person on the phone, the listing agent, and you want to say, hey, I'm here at the home and my clients are interested in writing an offer, and I want to find out if there's any particular term that is most important for your seller. Do they need a certain close date? Are they looking for a certain price? And are there any other offers in? Because ladies, you're asking the question. It's up to the listing agent as to whether they're going to answer you, right? As far as how they're going to answer you, in other words. So let's say they say, well, they really want to push closing out to whatever, and it could be like 60 days or 90 days. Maybe they want to wait till their child graduates. That comes up a lot. So whatever it is, now you have the inside scoop. Whereas if you hadn't called that listing agent, you wouldn't know. So you might think, hey, a term on the contract is close date. I'm going to push for an early close date. In actuality, that'll make your offer not as good, because now you've gotten the intelligence on that. Okay. So you call, you figure that out, and then you write the offer accordingly. So number 1 term would be close date. Number 2 would be the kind of loan. Now, I'm not going to go into all that, but of course, it's up to you as the buyer's agent to make sure that the listing agent knows that you have a well-qualified buyer. And many times in these competitive times, it's important for you to make sure that your buyer's lender can make a phone call to that listing agent. Be proactive, ladies. We're raising the bar here because we want to get our buyers winning the deal. Saying that this person, has great credit, whatever. Okay? All right. Next is home inspection and appraisal. And of course, you're never going to say, don't do a home inspection to your buyer, but you can shrink the number of days, right? Because that'll be a better term than if somebody asked for longer days to have their appraisal and their home inspection done, correct? And then, seller assist. Obviously in these times, it's better if you can talk to your buyer about maybe, getting their own closing costs paid. Anyway, the other thing is having an escalation clause. If you're in a situation where there's competition, so you've made the call to the listing agent told you that she's expecting 2 offers and she already has 1 in hand, well then it would behoove you to have your buyer put in their highest and best right away, which is always best. Or if they're a little apprehensive, go ahead and use an escalation clause, which says that with the existence of another offer, this contract will beat the highest offer in by $500 up to a certain price. Anyway, so sometimes a letter is helpful to submit with the contract. Sometimes it's not. That's something you ask the listing agent. What do you think? Would they like that or not? And then, of course, the earnest money amount, right? Because if you are a seller with multiple offers and someone is offering $500 earnest money and somebody else is offering $2,000 earnest money, then which one would be more appealing to you, right? So you want to always keep these terms in mind. And then the last part of what I promised you is how to make sure that your deals close. It's very important, ladies, to um, use a win-win-win negotiation when you are anytime that you're advocating for your buyer, right? And so when you submit the offer, go ahead and call or text the listing agent and say, hey, I'm sending over an offer. My buyers are extremely qualified, very motivated, excited to have the opportunity to make this house theirs, and I'm excited to work with you. Would you, if you had a listing, would you like to hear from a buyer's agent that he or she is looking forward to working with you? I would, right? So relationships are everything. Second time or maybe third time I said that, right? It's very, very important. And that laying of foundation of mutual respect and wanting to get this deal, approved or ratified, accepted, will really paint the picture for future negotiations, right? So if the appraisal comes in lower than contract price, you've set a stage for a beautiful win-win-win negotiation. That even though you're advocating for the buyer and they're advocating for the seller, you're still kind of like amicable working together, right? And then likewise with home inspection, because you never know, homes that look like they're going to have some issues, their home inspections might be pretty easy, and the converse would happen too, where a home looks great and the seller has really maintained their home, but that HVAC's 8 years old and suddenly it breaks or it's not functioning properly. And so you advocate for your buyer in the home inspection addendum that you would like them to have the system cleaned or whatever, fixed, then a certain issue. And now you have a negotiation in order to get through the home inspection contingency. So some of those words to use to make sure that you can keep the deal together and get it to closing include the words reasonable, and also includes the words, I am so glad you're on the other side of this deal, because between you and me, I know we can make this work. Between the two of us, we can certainly get this together and keep this deal together, because your seller wants to sell to my buyers want to move in. So let's do the work. Ladies, I'm convinced, and I've said this a million times, that when deals fall apart, 9 times out of 10, it's our fault. It's the realtor's fault in some way, shape, or form. And sometimes it's where if you're the listing agent, you are scared. You see 2 pages of requested repairs and you panic. And so when you deliver that news to your seller, now you've made them defensive because of your not remaining calm. We have to always remain calm. We have to be the unemotional voice that is keeping this very professional, because emotions kill deals. And so the agent who knows how to keep their client calm will close more deals. And I'll say exclamation point. All right? So when you get something, or when you're on the buyer side, and maybe, I don't know if this has happened to you, but maybe after a home inspection, your buyer says, get me out of this deal. I want out. I want to execute my home inspection contingency, and out we go. It is your duty to question that so that you fully understand it. Let me explain. Many years ago, I had a buyer say that to me. And I said, oh my gosh, of course, I'm happy to do that. Can I please understand what happened? What in the home inspection report is making you say this, so that I fully understand it? And they said, well, there's water in the crawl space, and water means that there might be mold, and they never had a home on a crawl space before. And so they had always had a dry basement. And so when they heard that, their perception was, we better run. So I said, I totally understand how you feel. Let me share with you that in this market, okay, because you ladies, you have to know your market and what's normal, what's average. In this market, 80% of the basements, or rather 80% of the crawl spaces, because we're on a low water table, there is some water in there. But we ask the sellers to put a new vapor barrier in. We'll ask them to have mold tests done to make sure that everything is fine. And then you'll move into the house that you love. And they're like, is that all? And I said, yeah, that's it. So ladies, imagine if when that buyer said to me, get me out of this deal, I want to execute on the home inspection contingency, and I just said, you got it, because I feel like I have to advocate for my buyer, so I'm going to go ahead, release, get that over. Whew, boy, all right. I best served my buyers. No, you did not. Okay? You've got to advocate for your buyers, and that means that you fully understand their perception. Because ladies, we do this every day. Our clients, specifically we're talking about buyers, do not do this every day, correct? So it's up to us. Do you know how happy they were at closing? They loved that house. It made them sad to even contemplate getting out. So they were very appreciative that I explained it. And we asked the sellers to do those things that I mentioned. They did it. Boom, we closed. All right. So always have the perception and share that with your buyer that you're advocating for them, and we'll get things done. You will get things done. All right. Let me just make sure that, hey everybody, I see so many names I know. It's so freaking amazing. I love you ladies. So fun. So fun. All right. Janet, good info. Okay. So if you learned something today, there's still 40 of you here. If you learned something, can you please just give me a smile in the comment, or just give me some love so that I understand that this has been valuable for you? I really need to understand that this has been helpful, that you've learned some things. My goal is always to elevate your professionalism, elevate your confidence. Because can you imagine executing on what I discussed and shared with you in the last 30 minutes? How that is going to boost you with confidence. And that confidence is going to be just ooze out of you. And you're going to close more deals. You're going to have less frustration. You're going to have less wasted time in the car, less wasted gas. Time and gas are, is time and money, right? So you don't want that. You don't want to waste time. All right, so that's it for today. I'm actually going to start coming in here once a week, and I don't know what day yet, so I'm not going to promise, but I enjoy being with you, and so I have enjoyed this time together. I want to reiterate that if you're interested in the passive income and how I'm paying my mortgage with my passive income stream, I don't have to write that check. I saw some of you said, show me the passive income, just put passive income there, and I will include you in that. Secondarily, if you want to win an iPad and 2 VIP tickets to the second annual She's Unstoppable Live National Conference, go ahead to my Instagram handle and share, like, and tag 2 friends. It's Coach Jan Copeland, Coach Jan Copeland on Instagram, and go here to my business Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Coach Jan Copeland, and like, share, and tag 2 friends, because Friday, one of those lucky ladies who does one of those things or does a combination thereof are going to walk away with a new iPad, courtesy of Gold Star Mortgage, and 2 VIP tickets to the She's Unstoppable Live National Conference, which is the first and only conference that's made specifically for you. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.